Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Grim, our second episode. Last time, we ended off on a very sad note. Gav, our ant friend, was defenestrated by our main villain.
Not funny. Totally grim.
It is very funny in the afterthought, but at the time, it was very, very much not so.
Just a defenestrated ant is just possibly one of the best things.
I love the little tombstone on the
Right.
screen.
Oh, that's what that is. That's fantastic.
Well, it was much easier than rearranging all the windows. So we will pick up immediately after this happens. With all of you safely on the ground, the rain continuing to pour outside, and you have crawled with Gav's body into a little dugout hole in the foundation building. The rain continues to pound into the grass just outside the mouth of its hole. Three of you sit there and play about what events has taken.
I mean, Rocky was the one who picked up Gav. He would have tried to be very gentle and set him down nicely, arranged him to look kind of peaceful. Best he could.
Soaking wet, your ears and fur all matted.
I think Mina would be very focused on Simeon and just kind of how he's doing as soon as she got down on the ground, he came over and hugged her. So she'd very much so be focused on just making sure that her brother is as okay as he can be.
Before we decide our next move, I think we need to give him a proper burial.
I think that's a good idea.
Did he have papers? Did we find papers or something last week? Last session?
I believe so, but I don't know if you...
Yeah, I know we found lots of stuff. I don't know that we took anything.
Yeah.
You had broken into Dr. William Vanderschmidt's laboratory, and in searching around, found papers and schematics for the machine that was there in the room. Still don't know its purpose, but it had a compartment large enough to put a mouse into size, and in an ice box in a different corner of the room found the body of grandfather Dr.
Rocky will look over Gav just to see if he had anything on him about his hand device thing that he broke. I would have asked more questions about that if I had known. I wouldn't be here to answer them now. So if you have any info about that.
Which hand device?
The only thing that was given as part of the will.
The forging machine.
Yeah, the forging.
Thing.
The forging machine, unfortunately, it shattered.
Right. So we really don't know anything about that still.
You have
Yeah.
several clues still available to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know where Dr. Wrinkle's office is. Searched it once. Found schematics to that machine. Currently helping. Machine you found in Dr. Vanderschmidt's office. You also know that Will gave everything except the forging machine to Dr. Vanderschmidt. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the gang of wasps hanging out inside this near.
But we also know that there's basically no way we can actually, we can't go back there right now. We're not strong enough to go back there, so we will have to look at, like you say, these other options. You know what I mean? Like, before we ever go back. As much as, we'd love to go back because the machine's there, Dr. Wrinkle's body's there, but yeah, we're not ready. I also could do with a rest. I don't know about anyone else. I'm pretty beat up.
I think that I'm okay, but I would notice that at least Simeon is not doing the best. So I would probably suggest that after we lay Gav to rest, we rest and then reconvene later after we have taken a moment and rested.
What kind of burial are you giving your friend?
The traditional burial of. Would ants want to be buried in the dirt?
Roll a check to see if you know.
The D10, I guess.
Always the dark stories that get strangely funny.
Oh, where'd my D10 go? Crap.
We can't have darkness without the light.
Hey, a 10.
A 10. Perfect. You know absolutely nothing.
You don't. Absolutely nothing. I'll look to Simeon and just, do you know how to bury him?
Yeah, would I be able to do a check on that? Because out of anyone, my job's most close. I don't normally get directly involved in this side of things, but I've got the most closely linked experience.
Yeah, I think so. So the difficulty will be a little bit lower because the situation.
I don't have anything that will affect it, so E10 it is. A 6.
6. With your background, you know that. Yes, you do know imperial traditions, but they involve heavily colony from which you don't.
Do I, by any chance, know any other ants who live locally who might have more knowledge of
No,
local ant populace?
ants are pretty secluded. Well, not secluded, but they really only interact with each other. Gav was definitely.
Okay.
I have experience with ant burials, but I don't think it'll be possible. We'd need to know where he came from, and I didn't know Gav well enough to be privy to that information. So I think it's either we stick to what we know and give him a proper mouse burial, or I can't think of another option.
I don't see the harm in giving him a mouse burial. It's what we know. So it would be nice, I think, at least.
Anything's better than putting him in an icebox.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case then, I guess we'll begin with mouse burial. With the limited resources we have available to us, like digging it with our hands, because we're really close to, you said, the body was dropped in like a large open field anyway, so we got plenty of space. We're not limited.
You
on
are
space.
actually currently between. You're in like an alleyway houses, so it's like old cracked cobblestone with lots of tufts of grass.
But where the casket was dropped, so
that
it was nearby. Yeah.
Across the way.
So we can go there. We know of a big open plot of land we can use. We don't have a shovel, so we'll have to just hand dig a hole. Less than ideal.
So you venture out your shelter. You take a rest. Throughout, as you talk through this, you heal up your wounds and regain some of your energy. You regain all of your health, all of your effort, and reduce the severity of a wound by 1.
I needed that. I had a nice 1 health out of 3 before that, so.
It's hanging out by a The new rules coming soon. You would have not been able to survive that.
Not another character death.
Oops.
It was the tradition for me. It happens a lot.
Just kill half the party, it's fine.
I just, in a lot of roleplay systems, I always love playing very supporty characters, which follows over to like video games as well. I always want a bit of support, like a healer or something like that. And in a lot of systems, that usually ends up meaning you're very fragile. Which I'm okay with, but it does mean I'm at great risk of death at all times.
Very fair. So we rested, and now we're taking Gav's body over to the field.
Yes. As the rain actually increases, or a crackle of thunder in the background, rumbling through the clouds above. You take Gav's body, small and very easy for Rocky to. Rain continues to pound down, wade through small streams that step across smooth puddles go into the tall grass where they hide. You quickly dig grave, friend, with the utmost care late. Leave anything there? Or mark it in any way?
I think it'd be good to mark it. I don't really have anything that'd be suitable, on me. So I don't know if there's any, something I can sort of improv in the local area, maybe just some, rocks with, a stick poking out of the rocks or something.
You collect a couple of pebbles, pile them on top of this mound. And with that one last marker tweak into the top, sticking up towards the crying sky.
I'll look over to Simeon. Do you have anything you want to say, or are there any rights or something? I don't really know.
I'm not familiar enough with his culture to know what to say.
He was a good aunt. He saved our lives.
To that,
Yeah.
Now, we should go get some justice for him.
I agree. And for the others who have been wronged as well. Anyone who was left out of the will that shouldn't have been. And to, our relative who's currently in an icebox. When he should be resting as well. We have a lot of work to do. And frankly, I don't know where to start.
Maybe we should talk with that lawyer again.
that might help. He might know something.
I know I had snuck up there last session and heard the lawyer talking to evil rat guy.
Dr. Vanderschmidt.
Vanderschmidt. I can't remember if I heard that alone. Either way, I would mention it now. If
I think you did
believe
tell
it was
them
relayed.
about it.
Yeah, because we had a discussion about it, about whether he was like in on it
Yeah.
or not, and the tone of voice he used, and like it was a whole thing.
So you all know that discussion.
he may not be involved beyond just facilitating the will, but he's got to know something. Anything that could be helpful.
Or at least know how we can move forward. Well, you know how we can move forward legally.
I'd be very surprised if he was involved. After all, he's the one who set us off on the idea that something was wrong. It would be very strange to give us suspicion of his own plan.
Agreed. He's a resource we can use, though. And I think that should be our first step. Also, get us out of this rain.
Do you want to lead the way?
I can try. Do we know where? I forgot his name. The grasshopper.
Yeah. The grasshopper lawyer. I don't think you ever got his
I don't think we got
Oh,
it.
okay.
because I didn't give him one.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, all I have written down is grasshopper. Grasshopper lawyer. Do we-
Grasshopper LLC.
Do we have any idea where he works or where he lives or his office would be or something?
Yeah, he lives in the same building as your grandfather did. So you'll have to backtrack a little bit, but through.
All right. Then I will start leading the way.
Am I misremembering? I thought Dr. Wrinkle was our father, not grandfather, but that might have been me misremembering.
No, I'm pretty sure he's our father. That's
Okay,
what I've written
okay.
on my
That's
character
my
sheet.
bad. Your father, then.
Yeah. I thought I was like going crazy for a second. I was like, am I just misremembering?
No, I'm the one that got that wrong. That's my bad.
And my ADHD just caused me to miss that entirely.
Your father. So yes, he's your father, and you're a story about you trying to find out what happened with Rocky. So you're going over to the building where we started. How are you going to get in? It's a old bookshop, and last time you went out, you very dangerous strategy, following wasps at freedom to write your own.
I personally, and if I'm leading the way, would be looking for ways to like sneak in cracks in the walls or into the inner workings of the building or stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make a check to try to find one.
Right. Which dice do I use? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's not roll a 5. Well, I don't find anything. That's a 10.
There are apparently no entrances around unless someone would like to offer help.
I mean, at least it wasn't a 5, you know?
At least it wasn't
a
a 5.
Yeah, I'll do help.
So that means I just get another.
Yeah, you get to roll again.
Get another die on the check.
Okay, that's what I thought. But I just need a little reminder. All right.
That's 1 effort, right? 1 effort.
Yep.
Ooh, that's much better. 3.
Rocky, how are you helping?
Probably been to this building a fair amount of times, so there's some crevices and stuff that probably have some promise as long as they're not blocked up by rain and mud and stuff. You can just kind of go through a process of elimination.
As you scout the outside corners of the building and the crevices where foundation meets the Mina, you actually see something you weren't really expecting. As you turn a corner, you can see a very well-furnished porch entryway just inside crack, crevice, the side of the building. So there is a crack that sort of forms about 2 feet up, comes down, then splits wide. There is it's like something has been put here. Extra dirt has been piled up to keep this porch elevated and away from the small river that now flows alongside the building as the rain to pour. And you can see a lavish red door, a small little window in it. You can see torches, small like candle flames on either side of it to light this freeway. It seems like much more of an entrance than you were.
I think I found something. It's like I found a way in. Not really what I was expecting. It's very put together. But I did find a way in. And I'll kind of direct both Simeon and Rocky over to what I found. And then if there's no arguments, I will probably just try and go in.
As long as it's dry.
No arguments here.
As you walk into this crack, the door is, and begin to approach this entry, the door opens, preemptive. And out of it steps a very, very well-dressed and shiny black cricket. He's wearing a small top hat. He has a tailcoat. As he opens the door, he says, "Welcome in. Please step inside."
Minnie? Thank you.
I'm immediately suspicious.
Go ahead and
I
roll a
have
sus
problems.
check.
I have problems with authority, so I think that, yeah, I'm immediately suspicious. Okay, so I have a struggle called anarchist, which means I have problems with authority. Does this count? Or
You
no, because I
just
don't
told
know
us
that he's
that
a...
the reason you're suspicious is because you think
Yeah.
that this is authority, so absolutely
Okay,
it's gonna
cool.
count.
Just making sure. All right, D12. It's a 5.
How?
But hey, that's not bad for a D12.
As far as you can tell, everything is on the up and up. This guy apparently is just doing his job, what he's been paid to do. He's clearly not someone that is important. Doesn't make decisions. He just opens the door.
Okay.
Rocky tries to be as small as possible as he
It's a bit of a squeeze, but you manage to get.
Just steps to the side and wait right by the door, examining whoever and whatever is in the place.
Even though
once you all
out of
get...
okay.
Go ahead.
Even though out of character, I'm highly suspicious. In character, Simeon likes to see the best in people, and has positive views of people. So he enter.
It's just Mina who's sus. So she'll stand, kind of size up the cricket, and then after realizing probably not in charge of anything, seems fine, I'll go inside too.
After all of you are inside this hallway, see that the hallway is as well decorated as the entryway outside. It is the inside of a wall, so you see these giant, beams up above you. There's no ceiling here. It's just goes all the way up to the roof. And it has been, this bottom area has been cleaned, well kept. There's a rug that runs all the way along it. And there are many small candles lining the hallway every couple feet or so on either side. And the cricket closes the door behind you, says, "May I take your coat? Here, have some. Please dry yourselves off." And he holds out, it looks like little scraps of handkerchief or something, just scraps of cloth, for you to use as towels. And as you grab them, you can feel that they're actually warm.
Rocky will definitely take those, but he will not give up his duster.
I don't think Nina's wearing any type of coat. Or jacket. I just don't think she's very like street urchin-esque, despite coming from a kind of well-to-do inventor because of what she's been doing lately. So she's just kind of in her like corset type top and bodice and like skirts and like that's it. So she'll just take the towel and start kind of unceremoniously drying herself off.
Rocky pulls off his top hat and like makes sure the gear is dry, and like the same with the bites he saw on his wrist, like double checks all that stuff, and like even pulls out like some rice to dry up any liquid inside these things. I don't know what, not rice, but like some sort of like extra cloth or something that he'd have. And then he also pulls out a little book that has like it's like a child fairy tale book, and he just like checks that real quick before stuffing it somewhere.
When you're all done toweling off, the butler takes your towels, places them over this, sort of a wire staple or jutting out from the wall, like a towel rack, and he starts laying the towels over this thing. And he turns to you and says, "Welcome to Chiton LLC, masters of all things law and... What brings you to our fine establishment?"
Well, thank you for the hospitality so far. We're looking for a lawyer whose name escapes me at the moment, but
We're looking for a grasshopper. The lawyer of Dr. Alphonse Wrinkle. Does he work here?
Yes, you must be expected beneficiaries of the... Said you might become. Follow me.
Yes, absolutely, that's us. Sure.
And he leads you down the hallway, and before long you reach a door that would lead further into the building, but as he opens it, you can see it leads to an office. And you see a nameplate on the door and another nameplate on the desk that the grasshoppers. And you realize that you have known. This is the office of Grasshopper G. Grasshopper.
Please tell me the G doesn't stand for grasshopper.
I'll tell you anything you like.
And for Grim.
as you enter that room, ready to have another conversation and grill the manager of your father's will, we will go ahead and take a quick break. Don't go anywhere, viewers. Thank you for joining us for this long. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. Now that the rain is gone, back nice, warm lawyer's office. We'll get this started again. So as the three of you walk into Grasshopper G. Grasshopper's place of business, you can see him, the lawyer who officiated for the reading of your father's will of Dr. Alphonse Wrinkle. That gave everything to some other doctor who you've never known. And you, after overhearing the lawyer talking to this evil rat, to be honest, you determined that might be more afoot here. You need to have another word, Grasshopper. Now that you're in the office, it's furnished much like the outside is. It has this beautifully woven rug across the bottom, but the threads are huge in comparison to what we would expect to see in a rug. There are large candles, one in every single corner of this room. There's even a tiny little glassless window looking out into the bookshop beyond, behind his desk. And he puts down the quill he's writing with, rolls up a piece of parchment, puts it aside, and then folds his hands and places them on his desk and addresses you.
It's good to see you again. How may I be of assistance?
I'll look over at my two companions, trying to see if they're gonna go first.
We didn't think this far ahead.
Rocky is very meekly trying not to say anything.
Okay. I'll sort of step forward and go. We just wanted to discuss the situation with our father and his will with you a bit more.
Yes, of course. What sort of questions might...
We don't necessarily have questions, as we've found some things out and would like to know how we might be able to go about fixing them.
I understand. Frustrating to not receive the inheritance you expected. But a will is a will. The law must be up.
Right. However, we have it on pretty good authority that Dr. Wrinkle's body was not in the casket at the wake. In fact, that casket had been bolted shut and filled with sand. And we have... Yes. And then we discovered where his body actually is. There's just a lot of things that are not making sense. And we figured there must be some avenue to move forward. As you implied that maybe something was going on and perhaps the will was forged and such.
A forged will is very serious. As far as the body goes, the will did not specific type of disposal, and that the body itself was passed on to the sole beneficiary, Dr. Vandersch.
So that was done on purpose.
Well, I don't know what he... The body of your old Alphonse Wrinkle, but it is his property.
That's so weird.
I didn't know that bodies could, I didn't know that someone ended up owning the bodies after they died.
It was a very unique situation in which this up. There was a very old piece of legislation that I figured out how to care for deceased.
And it doesn't strike you as odd that someone our father met only 2 weeks ago who would not only leaving all his earthly possessions is one thing, leaving his body, his, avenue to the afterlife. I know me and him didn't agree on these things, but, like, your actual physical body is something different to a bit of research or a machine. And he'd known him such a short length of time. Does that not strike you as even the slightest bit?
As one of my dear old professors told me once, rest his soul, the law is not to be interpreted with emotion, be interpreted with logic. So it does not matter what my personal feelings are. Instead, I
Okay.
must interpret with a cold and calculating presence of mind. This can
Appealing
lead
to your-
some very unsavory practice, but as long as the law is held,
Appealing to your cold, calculating logic, then, if we were able to bring you evidence that my father, in his last couple of days, had access to a forgery machine, and Vanderschmidt was, aware of this, would you not then, like, logically, not emotionally, logically, at least, does that not at least, like, begin? I understand in these matters there's a lot to be taken into account. You need a lot more evidence than one thing, but one thing is a good start to then, at least prove that there's doubt. Whether that doubt leads anywhere or not, that's to be determined. But
I'd
there's
like you
more
roll
to
a
this than
check.
just emotion. Okay. I'm not very good at this. I'm a shy coward.
Well, would
Talk-
anybody like to help?
I would like to offer to help.
Talking to
and
people is hard
help
for
can
you unless you
stack,
know them
too.
well.
I will
So-
offer at least one effort to help.
And
Yeah,
you
I'll
were
help as
participating in the conversation, but Rocky, how are you going to help him?
Rocky has been like struggling and kind of holding things back, and so he's gonna step on everyone's toes and just kind of blurt out, "Vandersmith is a murderer. We watched him kill Gav."
All right, Simeon, go ahead and roll a check using 3 dice.
You're gonna love this. I got a 5. That was my best, by the way.
Oh, the
My
lowest
best
one
one.
was a 5?
Out
Yeah.
of 3. Damn.
Ooh.
And my others were an 8 and an 11.
Oh my goodness.
As Rocky blurts out this accusation, the room falls silent. A little bit of wind makes the candles flicker and dim momentarily.
He did it without a second thought and without hesitation or remorse. And if someone's capable of that, surely they're capable of forging a will.
The grasshopper sighs, looks down at his hands. He gets up from his desk and walks over to the door, opens it, peeks outside, whispers something to the cricket butler, closes the door again and locks it.
Oh no.
He goes over to the window behind his desk, closes the shade, stands behind his chair.
I'd like to pull out my whip. Just at my side.
I need my emotional support plushie.
He takes another deep sigh.
I will admit, I've never seen suspicious set of circumstances. As one who upholds and interprets the law, my hands are...
But are your lips? Can you tell us what to do next?
This does not rule. Dr. Vanderschmidt, Dr. Wrinkle, months before Dr. Death, were working on a project up secret. I was one of the few was able to talk, Doctor. He seemed paranoid, terrified of the thought of great beyond from whence nothing. I think he was ready to pass. So he reached out to Dr. William Schmidt, who is best known for his work animatronic. I still don't know what this machine project might.
Can Rocky make a guess, given what he's seen in the labs and with the body being kept?
I believe we may have seen schematics of this device, but I don't think we know its purpose.
Go ahead and make a check, Rocky, to see what pieces you can put together.
I don't have anything for this. Just yeah. A 2.
A 2. You latch on to this new information that Dr. Wrinkle is not ready to die. That, paired with the fact that his body is now in a room with a machine that you're not sure what it does. There's a couple of possibilities. You've heard stories, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, of bodies being reanimated after the soul has left. But the strange piece of information that doesn't quite fit in with this is Dr. Vanderschmidt being an expert in animatronics. Years put into steampunk-esque robots. That's not reanimation.
Rocky might mumble some information along these lines, but since that disparity of animatronics not making a whole lot of sense with a dead body, not gonna say anything at the moment.
As I said, hands are tied. There's nothing I perceived.
You
are now armed with information. You hope.
So there's no legal avenue for us to pursue this, so to speak, hypothetically.
None.
Wonderful.
But if we were to prove that Dr. Vanderschmidt was a murderer, that would put natural suspicion on all of his deals, perhaps? Question mark.
The path you take now, entirely up to you. This conversation did not happen. Do not have. I
I
hope
think we should
find
head to...
truth buried in deception.
I think the next step is we should go visit Father's lab again.
We were never here.
Nothing suspicious about children going to visit their father's residence.
None what I have every confidence in you. The best of luck. I'll be keeping a close eye. Whatever comes. Action.
He's got more confidence in us than I do.
Mina is completely confident. Like, there is just kind of this almost, not even almost, the arrogance kind of radiating off of her now that this, like, new information has come out. And this, again, seems just strangely natural for her, of like, oh yeah, the non-legal route. Perfect. And she'll just thank you for your information.
Mr. Grasshopper, do you perhaps know anything about the connection between the Wasps and Vanderschmidt?
They see him as their leader. Don't know what sort of sway he might have over them. Promise of violence. Amen.
Well, thank you for the information you have not given us.
Welcome.
Rocky
He walks
turns
around
to go
his
to the
desk.
door.
And Grasshopper opens the door for you. And outside you can see the cricket with two, or with one, looks like a broken X-Acto knife blade.
Ooh.
That he, once the door opens, he tucks into his wings on his back.
Ooh.
Incredible. As we're exiting, I'll kind of like put my whip back up on the holster on my hip. Clearly not needed at the moment.
Lightning.
Grasshopper
to the
bids you
workhouse.
goodbye, and the cricket leads you further down the hallway to an exit right at the base of the wall that you need to climb to get to Dr. Wrinkle's old office.
Thank you. And I think Mina will be the first to leave. And try to start climbing.
All right. Do you have anything to help you climb?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
I can go first and make some better handholds, perhaps. I'll help whoever. I only have one effort point left, so.
If I try to move silently, if I'm trying to climb silently, I do have the talent to move silently.
You are trying to climb silent.
Then, Simeon.
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Then, with my climber right there, I will help.
I rolled a 2.
Nice. And Simeon?
A 6.
The hand and footholds that you've already placed in this wall, Rocky, are still there from the last time you climbed into the office. You make some more. And it looks like an error occurred in Row indeed. Oh, it looks fine.
Yeah, it
YouTube
did
is
like
lying to me.
no on my screen, like because I've got the YouTube feed open, it did like have a slight little hiccup, but yeah, it is like totally up and running. Like it was literally
Okay.
just a little quick, like that, and then it came back.
All right.
It
So
seems all fine to me. I have it up too.
I love how my rolls so far have been 6, 5, 11, 8, 8, 6.
Oh, no.
My bad luck has gone to you. I'm so sorry.
The curse has changed occupants.
This is my usual luck with dice rolls. I'm normally a terrible dice roller.
So, Mina, you get up without an issue. But Simeon, you're even for a mouse, you're small. And this isn't just that you're skinny, it's also that you are short and cannot reach most of the handholds. So as you are jumping from one to the next one, you slip and tumble all the way back down to the ground. You fall 2 zones, and you take 1 point of damage. But this is a failed check, so you get that effort back.
Oh dear. Rocky will go back and climb back down to make sure Simeon's alright. Kind of like hanging on the wall still.
I'll just pull myself back up. You know, like a bit slow to get back up, you know, because it hurt. I'll like dust my robes off, and
I'll sort of try again, but just following Rocky's
Maybe-
lead.
Maybe you could hold on to my shoulders.
Yeah.
Mina's like head is sticking out over the like opening and just like, are you okay? Please be careful.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm sure we'll manage.
So if you're hanging on Rocky's shoulders,
Yeah.
this is either going to be a check for Rocky to carry someone, or a check for Simeon to climb.
I'm tempted to say, me roll just because, like, I can't permanently roll bad, right? I've got to get a good roll eventually. Right? Right?
Would hope.
Right?
Supposed to balance out. That's how the universe works, right?
Mm-hmm. Right? So let's see how this goes.
My luck would say no.
Well, speaking of your luck,
No.
5?
It's a 5.
It's a 5.
How? Why is it all 5s all the time? That's it. Episode title. All 5s all the time.
5 by 5.
It is still
So
extremely
for next
difficult.
session, you're going to be doing all the 5s now.
Yeah.
It is extremely difficult to hang on to Rocky as he climbs up, just because of his sudden movements when he is climbing. It's sort of like hopping from one thing to the other. And
Yeah, it
you are
gets wet.
swaying back and forth, gripping on for dear life to Rocky's fur. But with a 5, you do make it up to the entrance and get inside. And
Rocky will try to like crouch down as low as possible to help him not have to like fall off. Since
Hits his head on
Rocky's
the
like
lane.
two mice height.
Rocky, you've been in this room before. It is a mouse's workspace. You can still see all the schematics for the papers, or the machines strewn about everywhere. And a writing desk that is just a disaster. Yeah. Very darkened, no way.
The machine prototype is there, right?
Yes.
I think that's where
It's,
Rocky would go to first.
As soon as I realize how dark it is, I have an infinite torch.
Ooh.
So, a flashlight, not a flashlight, because those don't exist yet.
Well, this is
But,
a sort of a steampunky world. So, what does your infinite torch look like?
I feel like it's kind of like a flashlight, like we think of, like the shape of it at least, but it's made out of like a torch. This of like wood probably, or like a metal brazier type material or something. And there's like a little switch on it that like inside of it like flicks a, I don't know, flint and something to like light up a wick with fire, and then it kind of works as a flashlight in our world does.
And in this case, whoever created this found a way for it to burn the flint itself instead of like they put something in the wick, a rock, a mineral of some type, to make it burn for like an insanely long time. Like it could be on for a mouse's entire lifetime without going out.
Yeah, this thing is
insane.
not running out.
No. So this little flame, having its brilliance directed into different dark corners of the room. Crackles and sparks every now and then, but it definitely provides ample light to investigate.
All right.
Rocky will try to look over the machine and then the schematics again with the new information in mind.
Okay. Investigation.
Can I help?
Yeah. how?
I am definitely stalling on purpose.
Yeah, like
I can.
what I was gonna say is so I don't know the the technical I don't have the technical knowledge Rocky does, but I can sort of do the preliminary work, find documents that I think might be relevant and then pass them to Rocky, so then Rocky can focus on only looking at the actual relevant and important ones and not waste time on filtering through the many hundreds if not thousands of assorted documents that are in this office.
I will offer help as well in a way of like I'm used to kind of scouring for information that is, very quickly and just kind of, oh, this seems important. So I'd be doing a similar thing of just like, this looks important. This seems to be right. And I will offer help as well.
I'm offering administrative support, not actual research help.
764.
So, with a 4, you do start to find schematics for things other than this machine. Specific parts of it, you're not sure. One of them appears to be designed to attract lightning and requires a very, very long wire to be run to the ground. But it appears to have... It's not just a wire. It has shooting off points where this bolt of electricity can be used for something else. What that is, you're not really sure. It could be used to power a weapon. It could be used to power a machine. It could be used to destroy something. Because bolts of lightning are very powerful.
I have a question. Because I have a concern. Out of character, my brain is like, I have a worry right now because you mentioned earlier that it was raining and that we heard thunder.
Did.
Anyway, in character, seeing how this device, knowing that this device, is used for lightning, and generally you want something like that in a high place. When we were at Vanderschmidt's, I didn't see it. Never mind. I was gonna say, I won't even actually say what I was gonna say because I don't want to put the idea into other people's head. I'm not gonna make it again.
With a 4, you continue looking around. This lightning runner is not the only new schematic you pull up. You also pull up schematics for a suit of some sort. Alright, it's hard to tell whether it's a suit or whether it is like a arm replacement. But you can see very, very clearly animatronic knowledge. It appears to be something to make a limb move. You're not sure, like I said, you're not sure whether it's a suit or whether it replaces the limb entirely or what, but you do find one for an arm and one for a leg. Or mouse limb.
Mildly disconcerting.
It's almost like he was trying to replace Limbs. He wasn't missing any limbs, right?
No.
These are, I think, designed to move like a normal mouse hand, at least in theory.
Could, in theory, if the will was, signed by Dr. Wrinkle, is it possible that this could have been used to have him sign the will against his, pardon the pun, will?
Possibly.
That seems very possible. If these were to function as they try to do, I don't know. We don't see any practical things, right? We're just on schematics.
These are drawings. There are, like, broken or unused pieces. Like, you can see a gear here, a bar there. But there's nothing functional.
Rocky will definitely accidentally be pocketing gears randomly and stuff nonchalantly. I don't know if these would actually work, but if they did, I think that would be very possible.
It also seems the lawyer, Mr. Grasshopper, said that Dr. Vanderschmidt is known for his work with animatronics.
Indeed.
Does this... I don't know much about schematics, but it seems like it might be connected. These schematics seem animatronic-esque.
Right you are. Not sure if this helps us or not. It just seems to bring more questions. Did Dr. Wrinkle ever mention to either of you about this or anything about animatronics or?
No. But as said before, if what Mr. Grasshopper says is true and he was doing it to try avoid death, I don't think he would have brought it up to me, knowing my feelings on the afterlife.
My father and I we haven't talked in a while. So, no, it was not something brought up to me either.
Right. Kind of like does the nose wrinkle thing for a while. Whiskers like twitching.
Seems like we have many pieces of the puzzle and no way to put them together yet.
If Gav were here, he would know something.
It's likely.
I think we have to go back.
Back where?
Like a big shutter. That you can hear the crinkling Dr. Big as Rocky does like a violent shudder. Back to that lab.
Yes, I figured we'd have to return there, but I don't know that it is a good idea to do that right now. We should definitely make some preparations before returning.
If there
It
were,
would be tragic for someone else to die.
we need some way of dealing with those wasps. I don't think they'll probably be on high alert, and we couldn't handle him alone.
If we could find some way to get them to turn on him, or I don't know, even take one of their own as hostage and use it against them. But then again, it would have to be some wasp very high up for that to work.
I don't suppose either of you have an abundance of money laying around, do you?
No.
No.
So what's our next step gonna be? Because I agree that we definitely at some point need to go back to Vanderschmidt's, but I also agree that there's a large amount of risk involved, and any preparation we can do to make that simpler, it would go a long way. But I just don't know necessarily what we could do to prepare.
Question for the GM. Could I make a check to see if I know anything or can think of anything that might help get us an in with the wasps or cause disturbance with all do I know anything about this wasp gang? I feel with my backstory and stuff, maybe I might know something.
Yeah, go ahead and make a check. 5.
When we were talking
Would you
about
put that weasel on her, Ricky Puppy?
Ooh.
A 1.
Wow. You really have just passed on to me, haven't you?
I'm so sorry. I never roll this one.
When we were talking about needing to do preparations before going to Vanderschmidt's, all I could think of, because this is how my brain works, was we needed a Rocky training montage.
I love it. I was thinking maybe I could make a bomb. Is there enough materials in here? Surely that won't go bad.
You can make a check if you want. Let's see if you can cobble something together.
I just pulled up the equipment section because there is a bomb in here, right?
Yeah, there are explosive rules.
Yeah. So it would definitely just be the common ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be more of a Molotov
Grenade.
cocktail style.
All right, go ahead and make that check.
Okay. I have Crafter's Heritage for lock repair. Would that help at all?
You're gonna have to get real creative to make that work.
Mostly just if my hands are capable of dealing with that fine of stuff. It's just a D8 versus a D10 is all I was hoping to get.
Okay.
So
I'll say sure. Go ahead. D8.
Why not?
I have a luck point, and that's what I'm hoping to rely on more than anything. Yeah, that's a 7, so I will use my luck point. 1!
A 1.
Yay! We both rolled one.
So there's a and Rocky just goes and just eats something, swallows it, and doesn't say anything.
Okay.
His hands
Mina-
were busy. He had to use his mouth to do whatever he could.
Mina, this event reminds you of stirs a memory from a long time ago. Insects in general tend to move about in groups. So your wasp gang, your ant colonies, and you know of a nearby honeybee hive that owes you a few favors.
Oh. Catch more with honeybees.
Now I'm just thinking of the song Honeybee by Steam Powered Giraffe. It fits with the honeybees and the steampunk vibes. It's perfect.
The year 25, 25, 25.
I might know somebodies that could help. I know some bees that owe me a few favors.
Are they busybody? Or will they have free time to help?
Well, it is raining, so usually some of them are available, and catching them on a rainy day is usually better.
Should we go pay them a visit if you think it'll help?
I feel like it can't hurt. Would I know whether, like, how to contact them then, the honeybees? If, like, I should send them a note somehow, or, like,
No,
I'd go
you would
on
actually
with
go to their hive.
Okay.
Activate the bee signal.
it. Okay. Then, yeah, I will, like... yeah, I think it's at least worth a shot for, at the very least, more information that they might be able to give us, and they might be able to help us. So if we're all done here, I can lead the way. But let me take the lead. They do not know you. They know me. Usually larger creatures make them nervous. So just let me take the lead.
Okay.
Rocky tries to turtle his neck into his jacket.
And with that, we will end this portion grim. We will do... We're going to take a very short break momentarily. I'm doing something weird here. We're going to take a short break. And then I'm going to come back with an epilogue/prologue description. An event that our players here are not... So,
Very
we'll be right
interesting.
back. Welcome back, those of you who have stuck around for our little epilogue for this session. Set up our climax. Our characters are not privy to the scene. As the camera zooms out of the building as they depart on their way to the hive, rally some reinforcements to help them have. We go to the see the same scene described last time. This high roof up neighboring building. You can see the sheen now up. It's one compartment and pipes covering one of the walls of the. You can still see the broken furniture, shattered glass from your encounter with Dr. Vandersch. Who should be there right now but the doctor himself, sitting in a chair, rocking slowly back and forth, nodding off, long snout bouncing, chest of metal. His bald tail twitches back and pulls in sleep. Outside, it's still raining. The rain is pattering onto a newly replaced glass window. And there's a dull roll of thunder. Dr. Vanderschmidt starts. Glances out the window, and as he does, flash of lightning. It's almost time. Back soon. Out of the rocking chair. Goes over to the machine's compartment. You can see from this angle, the icebox is inside. As he places his rat paw on the outside, he mutters, "Oh." And the last thing we see, a photograph on a side table. Very young Dr. Alphonse Wrinkle from his school days, smiling widely, running through a field with his friend, younger Dr. Willie. And that's where we will actually thank you all so much for joining us. This has been joy to tell. Hope that you all enjoyed it as well, both viewers and players here. We'll go around and do some quick outros before we call it an afternoon. Abby, where can people
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Abby Marie Carter. I played Mina. If you want to contact me, I am in the SAGAS Discord. I am in Mistress Winter's Court Discord and the Tabletop Tailspinners Network Discord at Abby Marie Carter. I'm on Instagram at Abby_Marie_Carter. And if you want to see more of what I do, every Monday I am on Mistress Winter's Court with Dennis, actually, playing a Pathfinder 2nd edition game called The Facet, where I play a doll come to life. Every other Thursday, I am also on Mistress Winter's Court, running a Monster Hearts 2 game called Ravenwood. Stouffer is a player in that, so please come check us out. We have an episode coming up this coming week. Yes, it's a gothic horror murder mystery, so kind of in a similar vein as this. So if you're interested, please come check us out. And I am soon going to be on a Monster Hearts 2 podcast with the Tabletop Tail Spinners Network. I don't think episodes are going to be released until October, but keep an eye out for that. Other than that, yeah, that's all I'm really working on currently. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a joy to have you at this table. What about you, Hanzo?
I don't really have much to say. Just, I'm really enjoying this. The games. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for DMing for us, and thank you everyone else for, being good people to play with.
Thank you for being here. Love
I'm not
seeing
really,
little Simeon struggle around.
I'm not really involved in anything online. Like, I don't, stream or, do anything. So, not much to find.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, but certainly not least, Stouffer.
Similarly, I am not much on the internet in social aspects, but I can be found on SAGAS Discord or OKSDM's Discord or Richmond Court DS Discord, mostly just Discord. Stouffer23 on there, and I'll be in Abby's game on every other Thursday in Monster Hearts 2, where I play a Fae. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun campaign. I love Monster Hearts 2. Anyway, yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you all for joining me. If you want some more content, go check out the things that these players are in. Thank you all for joining. I am going to be online next tomorrow. Evening? I don't know if I'm streaming earlier in the day, but I know I'll be on in the evening. Yes, so tomorrow I will be running the first in-person SAGAS game at a local game store that has shown interest in it. So I'm very excited for that. But later at 7 Central, I'll be back here, OKSDM YouTube channel, interviewing a new fun guest. He's a up-and-coming YouTuber, much bigger than I am already, and he's been doing it for much less time. All of his content is great, so check that out tomorrow, find out who that is, and check out some of his amazing content. Thank you all for watching. Remember, no matter how dark your stories get, everything is going to be